Heat waves, food recalls, warehouse explosions, and water main breaks. It's been called a cruel summer, so to speak, for many Angelenos.
But according to clinical psychologist Dr. Jenny Prohaska, it is how to handle the stresses of today that prepares you for the troubles of tomorrow. Here to tell us about the tactical longevity is Dr. Prohaska right now. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning from Kansas City.
Yes, excited to be here. Thank you.
First, tell us about working with law enforcement and how that led you to create a training program, and it's called Tactical Longevity. Tell us about it.
That's right. So I'm a clinical psychologist with over 15 years experience working with people mostly in high risk roles, SWAT teams, things like that, stuff you see on TV. And that led me to really realize that stress is a everyday experience. Of course, it's amplified in those professions. We can absolutely train people how to be better at stress. My high performers never really came into the profession already good at stress. They actually learned that through little micro exposures, and we can teach that to the everyday person too. And so that's where tactical longevity came from.
Okay, so tell us why you call everyday annoyances and inconveniences good practice for real emergencies.
They're such good reps. I always compare it to like your mental fitness is like your physical fitness. If you needed to run a marathon in a year from now, you wouldn't just get off the couch one day and start running. You go small steps over and over. So those little small exposures, we can use those to make us better at stress long term. They're actually great training experiences.
Great training for adults. It's what I try to implement with my 6-year-old daughter, right? These are little moments because when something big happens, I need her to know the breathing exercise. How do you regulate thyself? So this is really good. You push back on this idea that this is about quote unquote staying calm. It's not about that. It's about handling the stress in what type of way, if you can elaborate.
Absolutely. So staying calm is like the secondary product of learning how to do stress well. Usually what happens is you have a stress experience and calm isn't the first thing that happens. What happens first is you start to learn, okay, feel this certain kind of way. I'm freaked out by this. How do I move from freaked out to calm? And so I think we are sending the wrong message by saying, hey, you should just always be calm. No. Learn from your little freaked out moments. Oh, okay, how do I get to calm faster? And so I think that when we aim for calm, we're aiming for the wrong thing. We have to use our experiences to get to calm faster.
And I'm probably the type that can be calm in a lot of situations. So does that mean is that not the right approach?
No, it's great. You probably had lots of repetition doing that. I would say that given your job alone, you've probably been used to responding to things that are uncontrollable, unpredictable. And so you've already had a lot of repetition. So no, staying calm is great. There's also certain people who are just naturally calmer in high risk experiences.
Yeah,
well,
I think,
good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know. And it's not that you're masking by like looking like you're calm. You truly feel like
just
you
have been able to handle it.
Calm, and I think that's the superpower, Kirk.
Ooh.
I would like to ask the doctor here, what is micro adversity training and what does that actually look like for the average person, would you say?
Well, so first of all, stress is completely relative. It doesn't matter if you are a high-powered CEO or a tactical team operator, or you're just somebody who's just doing everyday life. You can look at stress and use those adversity experiences for positives. So if you're in traffic and you're sitting in traffic, there's a way to think about that experience so that it doesn't affect you as negatively. We can use stress, like sitting in traffic, as a moment to kind of like little repetition moment to teach you how to manage stress better.
And some practices.
I like that. So yeah, something that we can do today to practice. What would one takeaway be if we're, if we find ourselves in a traffic jam later today?
Is it the breathing for you? Where do you start?
I'm not really a breathing person. That works for some people. I am all about how do you think about stress. So for me, it's like, hey, in this moment where I'm stuck in traffic, how can I think about this moment differently to help me prepare for better stress later? So I use this phrase, problem as the opportunity. Here I am stuck in traffic. How do I use this experience to teach me something that I can need to do better? So in that moment, it could be being patient. In that moment, it could be, how do I be more adaptable or mentally flexible? I'm frustrated right now. How do I get to more focused in this moment? You use that stressful experience, that micro adversity, as training ground because life is stressful. You will have bigger stressors later. Right. We want to use those micro moments to prepare you for bigger moments.
Right.
All right, clinical psychologist Dr. Jenny Prohaska joining us live not far from Nebraska in Kansas City. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And for more information about Dr. Jenny Prohaska, visit tacticallongevity.com.
Stress less is the takeaway.
Stress less.
And if you do stress, think critically. I like this practice.
I do too. That's cool.
Are you a breather? Like, okay, in through your nose, out through your mouth.
And we're back after this on the KTLA Weekend Morning News.
Are you a breather?
I think so.
Okay.